Hi, guys, what's up? And welcome back to the Counterculture Podcast. I'm here with my co host and husband, Grant.
Hey, y'all.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're just going to be sitting down and talking about lessons that we've learned in 2025, kind of just a recap of last year and just seeing where that goes.
Fantastic.
I just now told Grant the
Yeah,
title.
you can tell by the look on my face that this is the first time hearing about it.
I thought about it 3 seconds ago and he just now heard about it.
Yeah,
So
sounds great.
let's get into
This
it.
is awesome. So you sprung this on me, which means you have to start because I have had zero time to think about this.
I know. So I'm thinking we go through like each month and kind of put a word with each month.
I
Like,
love
what
it.
did we learn?
I love it.
What was the topic? So January 2025. We might
Yep.
have to like recap what we did.
Can it be a word or can it be like a phrase?
Either one.
Okay,
Yeah. So January, we celebrated our 3-year anniversary.
we did.
We went to Tennessee.
We started emphasizing posting on our couples channel in January.
Yeah, I think that was our first. That was our first post. We
Mhm.
weren't posting every day, but we did start it. We also hated our lifestyle. So we knew that like January was kind of like a good reset month to
Yeah.
just contemplate our life and like how we were going to change.
Mhm.
So I think January, I'm going to think of a word.
I've got one, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
I would say new beginnings.
Okay, I was going to say don't hesitate.
Okay. I could see that.
Just like that's when we started, and it was pretty humble beginnings. We were just making videos of whatever we could think of.
Yeah.
But if you wait until you have everything that you need, you'll never start.
It's so true.
And you taught me that actually. I
So
am
true.
so much of a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I just did not want to start content creation until I had the $2,000 camera and
Yeah.
the gimbal and the GoPro and the drone and the
Yeah.
mics and everything else. And we've added some of those pieces since then. But when I started, all I had was my phone and the shaky little tripod, that you'd had since you were 14, and we just figured it out, and you add things as you go. But if you don't
Yeah.
start today, you'll never start.
Yeah. It's so true. That's literally, I love talking about this so much, and especially in content creation, because so many people want to do it, but the hardest step is the first step.
Mhm.
I love like the ideas and the planning, but then actually like bringing that in from my mind to the present is like, I love it
Yeah.
because that's the hardest thing for a lot of people. So I've
Mhm.
tried to just be like, what is that connecting step that makes it so hard? It's like, I have this great idea. How do I make it happen? And that's what I absolutely love to do. So with content creation, it's the same thing. It's like I would study myself and like, what is that disconnect?
Mm.
And the hardest thing was like knowing what to do next. If I knew that I wanted to post content, I wouldn't let the day go by until I posted some sort of content.
Hmm.
And yes, it was horrible. It always starts out horrible. I
Yep.
mean, you look at any content creator, their first video is just trash. I mean, my videos are blurry and they're bad. The angles are horrible. The quality is bad, but at least I started.
Mhm.
And it's only gonna get better also. I think January was just new beginnings and just not being afraid. You have to come to a place where you don't care what people think.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing for me because I knew I was gonna start out bad. I knew it wasn't gonna be great. But once I got over that, it didn't matter. I knew I was gonna get better eventually. I still look at my videos today, I'm like, I don't like it, but I know if
Yeah.
I keep going, it's going to get better.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think everybody's going to look back on their past selves, whether that's in content creation or just like looking at family photos.
yeah.
If you're not looking back at last year's version of you and saying gross,
Yeah.
then you're not growing.
Yeah.
If you look back 2 years ago and your content looks exactly the same, you're just not going anywhere.
Mhm.
And it's like no wonder your analytics have stalled. No wonder this, no wonder that. Like it makes sense.
Yeah, I would just say January, I think we were both just done with like the cookie cutter lifestyle, which we just talked about. And we just wanted to try some things. I think we both decided we weren't scared of failure.
Yeah.
The life we were living was so horrible
Yeah.
that I
And
would
we're
rather
young.
have tried something else and failed and gone back to that
Yep.
than to just keep doing that lifestyle because it's safe and never know what
Yep.
we could have done.
I think another phrase that could really work for January is beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
like that's
good.
when everything started.
Yeah.
And now you fast forward to this January,
Oh man.
and we have both quit the jobs that we were trying to get out of. We're both in content creation full time, and we're about to travel the
US.
country, maybe the
That is
world.
crazy.
Just wild.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
beginning of the end, new beginnings, don't
Yeah.
hesitate. I think those are all good fits for January.
Yeah, for sure. And then we get to February, which I have no clue
I
what we were
have
doing.
0 memories of
What
February
were we
at all.
doing?
I literally have been sitting here for the last 5 minutes. You're talking about January. I'm like, "What
Yeah,
did we do in February? What did we do in
February.
February?"
I think February for me was content. I could
For
not
you.
figure out, I wanted to have a couples channel because it was so fun. I finally got over the fact of like, it's gonna be cringy. I don't care. We're having so much fun with it.
Mhm.
I needed that outlet to be creative
Yep.
and to have fun. And so I was just trying to figure out like, do I do my own content? Do I focus on the couples content? I knew that I wanted to do this podcast. It had been something in me for so many
Mhm.
years. And so I was like, do I start with that? Like, what do I start with? Because in January we decided we were going to do it. I didn't know what. So I think February was just like every night I would sit down at like midnight to 2 a.m. and just study and look and read and just like kind of figure out what my niche was, where I wanted to go with all of it. Something hard for me was, like, I wanted a place to put all of our wedding content, and I didn't wanna,
Yeah.
like, repost it later down the road, so I just wanted it to be somewhere where I could go back and look at it. So I took the couples channel and just literally went through the entire day of content that we had paid, like, the videographer to get.
Mhm.
We got all the raw footage, and that was February for me, was
Yeah.
putting together it would take me, like, a week to do 2 videos, and I would
Mhm.
make shorts and just I wanted that all on our
Yeah.
channel, so
Yeah, and we actually
that's
started
it.
before that.
Yeah.
We sat down and did long form videos on our couples channel just telling our
Yeah.
like, our dating story
Yep.
and engagement story and then wedding story, and then you posted all the wedding content.
That's exactly what we did, yeah. I just wanted our story to be somewhere so that once we started posting, people weren't like, "Who are these people?" Like, they
Mhm.
could go back and look.
Mhm.
So, yeah, like, we have how we met and
Yep.
our all of our stories, and that's on the couples channel. But that was super fun
Mhm. It totally
because
was.
we filmed a lot and just kind of got the ball rolling with the couples content, and I'm so glad that we didn't stop that, like,
Mhm.
we're still trying to figure out how to do it all because it's a lot,
Mhm.
but I wanted to do it all because 'cause they're all so different, like, the couples channel, and then I wanted my own little space, and you have your space,
Mhm.
and we have the podcast. February, we had a good Valentine's Day, just a lot of dates, a lot of just sitting down and, like, learning and growing and then doing a little bit.
I would say put in the work.
Okay.
Just, like, nothing really crazy happened, but we were just starting out, and all there was to do was to keep going, to keep putting in the work, put your nose to the grindstone.
So I would say for me, I wasn't completely, like, put in the work because I was still trying to figure out what the work was.
Mm.
I think for me, a phrase would be like, "What do I want? What's my why? What am I doing?"
Hmm.
Just kinda like
What am I doing?
yeah, like, what's my goal
Yeah.
is would be a good way to explain February, like, what yeah,
So goal hunting.
yeah.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah, because like I said, I knew I wanted the podcast, we hadn't started that.
Mhm.
Actually, yeah, I'm only thinking about content. I kind of forgot that I was working my 9 to 5.
And hair.
Yeah, I would work from 7 to 5 and then clients from 5 to 9 and then content from 9 to, like, 1 or 2. So, probably, yeah, work.
Just work,
But
man.
that was the whole year, so, like
It was literally until December.
yeah. We did have a good snow in day. We slept in the living room, tried to pull an all-nighter. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you fell asleep in the basement or in the floor because I just wanted to be done so bad. I had just worked all day. I had
Yep.
clients. I started dinner. Like, I didn't sit down to work until it was like 11 PM. And I was like, if I don't pull an all-nighter, it's just not going to get done. And I had to work the whole thing again the next day. So I was like, I'm pulling an all-nighter. I need you to help me like stay up. That's all I need from you.
That was fun.
It was really fun. We were in the house, obviously, so that
Right.
was great.
Mhm. So March is next. I don't
March.
have my phone. It's filming. Hey, over there.
Do you want me to look at
But,
this?
yeah, I would need some help from the camera roll.
So March was just all couples content. That's all we did. So
Yep.
we literally filmed a short every
Every
day,
single day.
and
Or
I
we batch
didn't
filmed 10 in a day, either way. We
remember that.
posted looking at the ones that never got posted.
Right.
Oh, man.
No, we posted every day. Like, that's
Every
all my camera
single
roll
day.
is just couples
Man.
content. I guess it started in March. We hung out with your family a few times because
Yeah.
they were in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We
for
had, like, a
Easter, I
game
remember
night.
that.
Like, literally, my camera roll is that's the all-nighter.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Um, okay, and then you
And that's
started
my
posting.
first short form
Oh,
right there.
March
Well, not the
31st.
first one, but the first, like, vlog with the voiceover.
Mhm,
March 31st, is that what that said?
mhm.
Interesting.
So, basically, all of March was the exact same thing as February,
Yeah, it was the
but
same.
we were getting in the groove more.
Right.
So, we had started posting every single day as was a
Every single
short,
day.
and then I was still posting all the wedding content,
Yep.
and then I was still doing the salon, and you were at Caterpillar, I was doing hair,
Mhm.
and my work from home job, and content every day.
That honestly would be like a new beginning kind of a month,
Mhm,
but also just kind of work month,
yeah.
you know?
I think I'll say it was clearer direction.
Ooh, I like that.
I
Yeah,
was
you're getting in the groove,
Yeah.
you know? Clear
I
direction.
I was starting to really like what we were doing,
Mhm.
and like I said, I was having so much
Oh,
fun,
we were having a blast.
and I really every day that I posted, I just started caring less and less and less, and I was having more fun every single video, and I was having a clearer direction of just, like,
Mhm.
content. I loved content,
Yep.
and again, being able to have something in my mind and just to, like, be able to do it and then have it come to life, I just was falling in love with it. So,
Yep.
probably clear direction of what I wanted.
Cool. I
Yeah.
love it.
So, April,
April. What do I remember about April?
just more couples content.
It's all the same, man.
Literally every
Oh,
day.
my word, that's such a
I
funny
loved
video.
We were going to the
We
lake.
went to the lake a couple times, went fishing.
All of April was just the exact same thing, except for I added my own content.
Yep,
So,
right.
now at this point, you were working full time. You were on weekends, and then I was doing the insurance, hair, and couples channel, and then I added my own channel. So I made my own accounts for everything and started posting every day, just like lifestyle content, like
Mhm.
vlogs. But we didn't start our race until May.
Yep.
But April was like, okay, I know I want to post every day on my own platforms, which was a lot because we were still doing couples every day and like a main YouTube video.
Mhm.
But something was missing.
Mhm.
But that was April for me.
So for me, April was testing the waters because I think
Uh,
that I was starting to post little things here and there and just seeing
yeah.
if I could do it.
Well, you had created your own platforms in April
Yeah.
and you had posted like maybe one or two videos.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were getting your little foot in the
I
water.
was dipping the toe. Dipping the toe is
Yeah.
what we'll say for April.
And I thought your videos were great.
Thanks.
Um,
Were past tense, not present tense.
no, babe, just starting off. I think that my phrase or word your what was yours?
Dipping the toe.
Dip in the toe? I think mine was burnout. No, I'm just kidding. Um, so I had found a new groove in April. I had figured it out. Like 3 months had already gone by. And I was like, I was really not liking my jobs and being a slave to other people. And it was all just really starting to weigh on me,
Mhm.
like, because it had been years of it. And I kind of, it came real to me that my only way out was like working through the night. So that's when I kind of started pulling all nighters and just thinking about things and getting creative through the night because I
Yeah.
really wanted out
Yeah,
anyway.
we were going to bed at like 1, but then you were going to sleep at like 3.
Yeah, I would have my laptop and I would just be, like, researching, studying, just, like, praying and creating. I just needed time alone when I wasn't I was working
Mhm.
every hour of the day. I couldn't let my mind be creative, and so I just needed that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "If I don't make that time for myself, I'm gonna be stuck here." But April was kind of the month for me that I was like, "It has to happen," you
Yep.
know? So that was my month that I started getting less and less and less sleep. So April for me, I would say, was just like grinding it out. I don't even
Mhm.
know, just
Yeah.
workaholic, any of those words. And
Man,
yours was dipping the toe.
dipping the toe.
So the next month is May,
Yep.
and May was the best month for me.
May was great.
I loved May.
Yep. You turned 25. We started our race. We went to the beach. We had some pretty life-changing discussions on the way home from the
Yeah.
beach. Pretty much set up the entire rest of our year in
Yeah.
May.
So May for me was like the manifestation of all of the all-nighters from April
Mhm.
because I didn't let myself dream or think about anything, like, all of 2023 and beginning of 2024 all of 2024, and so that's when I knew 2025 was like, "I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that." April was the month that I started just thinking and being like, how do I get out of this? But May was the month that was, I think it was May 2nd, May 1st or something like that, that I was like, I need a goal that's going to make me post every single day. I'm going to have an audience that's keeping me accountable. So I was
Yep.
like, how do I do that? And in one of my all-nighters, I was like, we need a challenge.
Yep.
And it can't just be me. I
Mhm.
want to race you because I wanted you to do it. So
Yeah.
really, it was just how do I get Grant to post every day?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
I
was
thought,
pretty hesitant. I mean, I still do struggle with it. I'm
yeah,
not very great at being perfectly consistent.
but I was gonna do it by myself. But I was like, no, I want you to do it with me because you were wanting to do content, but you needed
Yeah.
that push. You were like, how do I? And
Yeah.
I knew because I'd been through it like 10 years prior.
Mhm.
I knew that you just needed like, to do it, and then it just gets easier,
Yeah.
but you wanted to, so I was like, "This is perfect."
Mhm.
So I think let me look, I think it was May 1st. So I had been posting every day since, like, middle of April,
Mhm.
but I changed my title to Racing My Husband, and that was May 7th.
May 7th.
So that's when we started posting our race
Yep.
together. So that was huge because
Mhm.
I was turning 25 the next week. And then we had our first vacation in like 2.5 years.
Yeah.
We had not had a vacation since 2022, like a week off.
So that's 3 years.
Yeah.
May of 22 to May of
Yep.
23 to May of 24
Mhm.
to May of 25.
Yep.
That's
And
crazy.
we hadn't had the most that we had had was I think 3 days off together,
Mhm.
and that was because we took PTO, and we
Yeah.
really shouldn't have, but we did because we needed it so bad. We didn't have a week off together for 3 years.
Yep.
And so that's why the vacation that we took in May, we were like, "We need this."
Mhm.
And I shouldn't have taken it, but I had that moment that I talked about in one of these episodes. It was April. I completely forgot about this. I had a moment where we were planning the vacation for May because we were like, "Should we actually take a vacation? Like, we haven't done
Right.
this in years." But we really didn't even know each other. We didn't know the dreams we wanted. We had no idea what we wanted in life. We were so burnt out, but it was during one of my all-nighters. I'm like, "We need a vacation. Like, we haven't done this in years."
Yep.
And when we actually decided to, and we found a place, the Lord gave us huge discount. We ended up booking a place. And while I was booking it, I remember selecting the days and I was like, I don't have this much time off. But
You were
I
like
just knew that I wouldn't be working there in like around Christmas and Thanksgiving, the holidays, because I normally like to save my time for the end of the year.
right.
But when I was requesting the time off, something just clicked in me like, "Are you gonna do this forever?" I wanted to cook and clean, be a stay-at-home wife, like, I wanted to take care of my family, all these things that I believe the Bible teaches, and I was like, When am I gonna put that faith to work?" Like, actually be able to say, "I don't wanna work full-time, I don't think that's what the wife is called to do, I wanna work at home." So I just made up my mind. It was like a mental thing that year I was quitting. I didn't know when, but I was like, it doesn't matter if I take a week off in May because I will not be here by the end of the year.
Yep.
And so I took the whole week off. You took the whole week
Yeah,
off,
I took a weekend off.
which was like huge
Yeah.
because that's a lot of time.
Yeah. When you work for the Caterpillar dealership that I worked for, you get 3 weeks off starting. You get 2 weeks of vacation, 1 week of personal. What that looks like when you work weekend shift is you get 9 days for the entire year.
Mhm.
So 3 weeks is very generous, but when you work 3-day weeks, 1 whole week is 3 days because I'm working 3/12s. And so to take 3 days in May and leave myself only 6 days for the entire year is pretty stressful. It's not
Mhm.
really very wise, to be honest. But we just knew that we needed it, and
Mhm.
honestly, it set us up for success
And we
big
were
time.
just ready to take some chances and like
Yep,
live a little. Like
100%.
we had just been slaves, I feel like, to our jobs and to everything. So yeah, we both decided. So May, we started posting every single day. We started our race. I turned 25. I'm like, this is it. I want to quit my job, but I was praying about it. And then we took our vacation, and I think that vacation was what changed so much for
Well, it
us.
changed everything.
We were stress-free for like a week, and I was stressed out to take the vacation. That was really, really hard. But I just was like, we have to start doing some
Mhm.
things. And like, we went to the beach. It was amazing. We still posted every single day,
Yep.
but I started getting creative, like letting myself just think outside the box. I had
Mhm.
really confined myself to just work, work, work. Every hour I should be making money, like just workaholic. In May, I was like, I'm just not going to do anything for my businesses or whatever. After we took our vacation, we had like a mini vacation going to visit friends
Mhm.
afterwards. And
Yeah,
I
like
think
2 days.
that's where we had so much fun, just,
Yep.
like, visiting people.
Mhm.
Like, we hadn't done that. I mean, we didn't have the time. We looked at each other on the way back. We were so sad to leave because they had
Yeah.
invited us to stay a few more days, like,
Mhm.
they were going out on vacation. They're like, "You can stay at our house," and we just the opportunities were there, and we were just loving people and friends, but we just weren't able to do it, and
Mhm.
so I couldn't stand it any longer. And that's
Yeah.
when you said to me, you're like, "Should we just buy a van,
Yeah.
quit our jobs,
Yep.
and travel the US?"
Yeah, I had just been watching videos on YouTube of people turning, like, Ford Econoline vans into off-road rigs, like, overlanding rigs, rooftop tents, outdoor showers, the whole 9 yards, and I was just like, "You know what? Let's just buy a van
Mhm,
and just make van content." And we
mhm.
obviously didn't do that, but
And I was like, "Yes, let's do it."
we that's where it started, and
It
that was
sparked.
all on the way home from the beach,
Yeah,
and that's kinda where the idea
yeah.
started to where we're at now.
And when we pulled in the driveway, I think we were both just like, this is gonna change." And that was the day I came home and I had gained, like, 4,000 followers on my Instagram.
Mhm.
And I was thrilled because the most I could ever hit was just like 500, maybe 1,000. But I was starting to get traction on my Instagram and it had only been like 3 weeks. I was feeling super inspired. I think it was the next morning, I woke up to my Instagram being taken away,
Mm.
and I was like, "Well, there goes my dream."
Yep.
Like, this time, I'm not the one that deleted it, they took it from me, and so I just remember I was like, "All that hard work, I've been posting every single day and not missed it for, like, a month. We have all these new dreams. We feel so inspired just getting home from vacation, just getting into the grind of everything again, and the one outlet that I have that's my biggest passion was just taken from me." And so that was huge, but we've talked about that a lot, and so I never ended up getting that account back. That went away May, but what would you say your word for May is or
All
phrase?
in. For me, it was like that's the month that I went all in.
Yeah,
We started our race, and I'm like, "Okay, like, whatever happens, I'm posting
yeah,
content. I'm a content creator."
yeah. That's so
Not a very good
cool.
one, but I'm here.
You are, baby. Inspired.
Mm,
I finally had direction.
yep.
I had worked so hard to just get direction, what do I want? And I had it in my mind.
Yeah.
I finally knew I didn't wanna work at a corporate job. I think that the Lord was kind of stirring my heart in the direction of not doing hair and makeup anymore and, like, not doing the salon, which was really, really hard for me. I was like, "That's probably just the enemy," Like,
Mhm.
that's probably not, but that little desire was starting to be there, like, "You need to pray about that." And I was like, "No." Um, but then the whole social media thing, May was just inspired.
Very
So
cool.
so then it brings us to June, which was a lot of the same,
Mhm.
but June was a really fun month too.
It was a blast.
We started living a little.
Mhm.
Like,
Just a little bit.
yeah, we had decided, we had worked so much again that we were like, we hadn't seen our friends in so long.
Mhm.
And that was really taking a toll on us. So we were like, we need to have a huge cookout.
Mhm.
And we also, I think we didn't talk about it, but we had known, like, after talking about van life, living in a van, traveling, I think we did talk about it one night. We were like, well, what do we do with the house if we ever were to do that?
Mhm.
And then we were like, we could rent it out.
Yep.
We could sell it. We could maybe do this. Like, we had just put the idea out there. And so we kind of both knew without knowing that we weren't going to have the house much longer, like, to us at least.
Mm.
And so we were like, let's have a really big cookout.
Yeah.
One last big
Hurrah.
hurrah
Yep.
before we just do some, but we both didn't know what it was going to be,
Mhm.
but we just knew. So June was just like a really fun month doing house projects. So you repainted the porch.
Yeah, I painted the front porch. I painted both doors, the front door and the side door. I was doubling down on lawn care big time. I was mowing
Oh yeah.
twice a week because I really wanted the grass to be good when everybody
Mhm.
was there. Mhm. I remulched the little flower beds.
Mhm. You did all
Um,
of the electricity downstairs.
that's true. That is when I did that, isn't
That
it?
took a long time.
Yeah.
You fixed our AC. You were just We just kind of knew again, like, that something was gonna change
Mhm.
and that we were probably gonna rent the house out somehow when we could figure it out. And then that was also the month that the Lord showed me, what if we lived in the camper and not necessarily traveled the US yet,
Mhm.
but what if we just put a camper back here like, lived in it
Yep.
and rented out the house, and then we could still keep our jobs for a little while, and we could still be local,
Mhm.
and that's when everything changed
Yep.
because we had
That
a
was the big
clear.
revelation.
Yes. I still didn't have my Instagram back, so I was still fighting for that
Yeah,
June.
neither did I. I lost mine the same time that you
Yeah.
did.
So we both still had TikTok and YouTube, and we still posted every single day. My nights consisted of appealing processes, and I got
Oh,
scammed by
man.
trying to get my Instagram back. I paid a hacker. I
Yeah.
I just did it all, and it was clear as day that I was not getting that account back. So that was my June, and then we had our huge cookout. We invited all of our friends, all of our family.
Yeah, it was, like, close to
Um,
30 people in our little
yeah,
house.
you grilled for everybody.
It was
I won't
so
say that.
fun.
It was so fun. And I think me and Grant kind of like we hadn't told our families anything, and which is so fun too
Mhm.
because it was always everything that we do is always just kind of like our own thing first.
Mhm.
I don't think anyone ever knows, and it's just fun to be able to tell like even your family. So like my family didn't know anything. And June was the first month that we were like this could actually happen.
Yep.
Like, we're on the path to being able to live
Mhm.
free. Oh, we also started fishing a lot, like, I love fishing, and
Yeah.
I actually started making time for, like, not things that aren't work,
Mhm.
which was crazy
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, I got you out there fishing at the beach,
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was, and
and
I
you were,
loved it.
like, not just, like, oh, like, when we had time, like, she was getting up with me and her brother at, like, 6 a.m.
Oh, I loved
to
it, and
go fishing, when the tide was just right,
yeah.
and the sun was still down, it was just gray, warm ocean breeze, so fun, and we would just be out there fishing for hours.
The thing is, like, I've always been that way, but I will never let myself. I'm such a
Mm.
workaholic that if I have a free hour, it's not gonna be wasting my time fishing. It's gonna be working and figuring out how to create something.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, though, when we were at the beach, I made myself
Mhm.
not work.
Yep.
It was so hard. I think I realized how good it was for me, like, duh, it's good to, like, get away from work.
Right.
I, like, didn't answer any clients, I didn't book anyone, I didn't plan anything, just nothing, and
Mhm.
so I literally could get up early and go fishing, and I enjoyed it, and so I was like, "I need to incorporate, like, a hobby."
Mhm.
People would always ask me, "What are your hobbies?" And I'm like, "I have to
Work.
work." Like, I need to work,
Yeah.
like, that's all that I do. So, it was really fun to just be able to be like, "Oh, let's go fishing," for whatever.
Yeah, and we fished a bunch in June too.
Mhm. I would say my word for June was a taste of freedom.
Mm. A
A little bit of
tease.
a tease of freedom, yeah, like,
Tease of
I
freedom.
definitely didn't feel it, we were working harder than ever,
Mhm.
but I saw it.
Mhm.
I saw the way out.
Yeah. I think my word for June would probably be direction. We spent all of May just kind of working, and then we kind of got a break in May and
Mhm.
had a chance to talk. And then all of June, we were just like formulating our plan and getting direction, knowing actually what we
Yeah.
wanted to do and where we wanted to go.
Yeah, for sure. You was cruising.
We're just cruising,
Cruising
like
through
we were
life.
having fun, but also everything was about to change because we were going to give up the house.
Yeah. Opportunity.
Yeah, opportunity,
Mhm.
work.
And then July. July was so fun
Hmm.
because we actually knew that we were going to look for a camper. The first step that we took was going to Camping World
Yep.
and just looking at campers. We were probably gonna get one off Facebook Marketplace, we knew that, but we knew absolutely nothing about camping.
I had never been in a camper in my life.
Really?
Never.
See, I grew up going with my aunt and uncle, like, all the
Mm-hmm.
time, and I just loved it. My dream was to have a camper,
Hmm.
but he was like, "Oh, it'll be a while till we
Yeah, I didn't
do
never
that."
think that it was going to be something that we did this early in our marriage.
Yeah.
That's an asset, a very, very quickly depreciating asset,
Mhm.
that you don't get until you're like retirement age.
Yeah.
The Lord works in
Yeah.
mysterious ways.
Yep. So everything was still the same. Content was all the same. We're posting every day on the couples channel, every day for you, every day for me,
Hmm.
working our jobs, the salon. So everything took forever, but we would work all day. And then I started I think July was the month that the Lord told me to give up the salon for an undetermined amount of time. And I was like, no, I fought him on it. I think I actually found that out like I prayed in June and I knew. And yeah, that is right because I texted all of my clients and told them that July 31st would be my last day for a while. I didn't know when. Don't wait on me though, like, I'm just following the Lord's path for my life.
Mhm.
And so going that but that's why July sticks out for me because I knew that was my last month doing hair. So I was like I would go in the salon and I'd be like, "This is just crazy." You know, I was finishing up kind of that phase of life. July was the month that I wrapped up the salon,
Mhm.
that we knew we were actively looking for a camper to live in to Airbnb the house out.
Yep.
So we were actively kinda learning, getting our foot in the door with Airbnb. And then that's the month I started my new Instagram account, July 1st, because I'm like, "I'm not getting my old one back." So I started my new Instagram, which was so disappointing.
Mhm.
But I started reposting all of my old videos. I was posting, like, twice a day to just kind of catch up.
Yeah.
We found like, do you remember how our life was just Facebook Marketplace looking at campers?
For so
That's all we
long, it felt
did.
like it was a year.
It was your full-time job. I couldn't do it because I was working,
Yeah.
but you literally were, like, all day
I was so
researching.
tired of looking at
Yeah,
campers.
yeah, and contacting people
Yeah.
and, like, looking them up and reading
Mhm.
reviews and, like, it was so crazy because like, if we would go over to anyone's house that night or friends, be like, "What'd you do today?" It's like, we weren't telling anyone we
Mhm.
were doing this because we just felt so strongly we shouldn't,
Yeah.
and so you were like, "Oh, just,
Mhm.
random things."
Well, yeah, and also by the time we got back home, the one we were looking at sold.
Oh, I know.
It was just
Yeah,
constantly just like a revolving
yeah.
door of almost perfect campers.
Mhm. I would say that was the solid month. I
Mhm.
mean, the entire month,
Yeah.
every day,
Yep.
and you would get up and you would do your videos and film and work out and post and whatever house project it was,
Right.
and then spend the
Still working the
day
weekends, obviously.
yeah, still working. But I'm talking, like, Monday through Friday, and then you would just and that's the thing, we would
Yeah.
have, like, a pretty good camper, you would be really excited about it, and it would be, like, Wednesday evening, whatever, and you would message them, and then they would answer back maybe, like, Thursday night,
Mhm.
and we'd be like, "Okay, we need to come look at this camper," but we couldn't do it on the weekends, and so you'd be like, "Will Monday work?" And they'd be like, "If it's still available," and then Saturday morning, it's, like, sold,
Yep.
and we couldn't go back to finding a new camper until Monday.
Mhm.
Because I was still working on the weekends, and so were you.
Yeah,
So, it took a long time, but
it did.
we finally bought our camper July 29th, pulled it in the driveway, and I remember we called my parents and was like, "We're gonna stop by for a little bit, come outside and on the front porch," and they're
Mhm.
like, "Okay, what do you mean?" And we pulled up with our camper, and they're like,
Mhm.
"What in the world?" Because they had no idea,
Yeah.
and we still didn't tell anyone,
Mhm.
like, our main plan.
Right.
I think that was pretty much July. So maybe my word would be push,
Why is that?
'cause we were pushing for everything,
Hmm.
making it happen.
Yeah, I think my word for July would be fruition.
Okay.
Like, we spent all this time planning, and we get direction in
Mhm.
June, and then July, we keep pushing, like you said, but then the very end of July, July 29th, we have the camper, we have the
Mhm.
fruition, the first big purchase, the first big step is done
Yeah,
of our plan.
that's good.
So, yeah, fruition.
Yeah, I think and we were also just seeing the Lord open these doors for us, and we didn't know what we were doing. I think so many people and, like, friends and family, they're like, "Why didn't you tell us?" Or "Why didn't" and we were like, "We didn't know what was happening."
Yeah,
We
we were
still
finding
don't.
things out as they were.
And we've never truly given everything to the Lord like that before, so we were just learning, and so then that leads us to August,
Yep.
which was a crazy month. I made my new Instagram July 1st, and then I had hit that 4,000 followers, I think, like, the first week of August.
Hmm.
So I had a video that was doing pretty well, and I hit 10,000 followers, and I was like, "That's it."
On Instagram.
On Instagram. I wake up, it was, like, the middle of August, and I see that they took my new account away, and I was like I won't get into all the details because we did, but they took my account away. I was like, "That's it." We ended up just praying. We got the account back the same night, and then the video still was
Mhm.
doing pretty well, and that's when I think that month I hit, like, 30 or 40K on Instagram,
Yep.
and everything just started happening with social media. That was my first month that I was not doing hair, so that was
Yeah.
extremely weird. Work regarding my work from home job, I was starting to get the Lord was really pushing me to quit, but I was really nervous. But that's kind of I remember just praying and being like, "I need to quit
Mhm.
my job." We had just gotten the camper, like, the 29th, 30th, and then August 1st, we were like, "Let's take pictures of the house.
Yep.
Let's get it listed." It was like I don't remember the exact timeline, but I remember we bought the camper. 2 or 3 days later, it was listed and
Mhm.
booked out, and we won't get into all the details because we did before. That's when we threw our stuff in the camper,
Yep. Shoving things in the basement,
like,
shoving things in the camper,
just chaos.
just boondocking the camper off
Yeah.
of an outlet in the basement, you know? I mean, it was crazy.
You had pulled so many all-nighters in August
Yeah.
that I think your word should just be sleep deprived.
Yeah, my word is back to work.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's kinda how, like, February and April was. Like, we were
Mhm.
just working, doing content stuff, and then we kinda had a couple of months where it was, like, direction, getting a little break here, you know, getting the camper
Mhm.
here. August, it was like, "Okay, now I've got a lot of work to do because
Yeah.
I had to run electrical for the camper. I had to run plumbing for the camper. I had to run a waste line for the camper. So, I mean, I was
Oh,
renting
yeah.
trenchers, I was renting equipment, I was working all day long, still working 12-hour shifts on the weekends. We were on mandatory overtime. So, I'm going into work at 4 a.m., all this nonsense,
Yeah,
you know,
you were
still
putting in
posting every day, trying to
work.
batch film so I wouldn't have to post on the, you know, didn't have to film on the weekends,
Yeah.
trying to work out every day. I was just slammed. You
Yeah.
know, we were pulling all nighters trying to get the house ready to rent out.
Mhm.
It was just wild.
Which is so crazy, like, I couldn't ever explain how you were so busy, but we really still didn't see each other. I mean, if we
Mhm.
thought it was bad before, like, we were just passing through each other's like, passing or whatever
Ships
you
in the night,
say.
yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, you were working from sunup to sundown, sweating the dead of
Mhm,
summer outside,
mhm.
and then working on the weekends, 13, 14, 15-hour shifts, doing it all again, and it was like so many people would ask us, like, "So what does Grant do? Like, he only works 3 days a week." And I
Yeah.
just remember saying, like, I we own a house, we now own another place of living, like the
Mhm,
camper, like, we're learning how to do real estate, and then the whole content, we were still posting every single
mhm.
day,
Every day.
and then not to mention your full-time job, which was turning into, like, more than that, and I just remember thinking, like, "He just sits at home, like, and eats." I don't know,
That
like,
just eats.
just go with
Oh,
it because people I think they just think, like, we don't do anything or, like,
man.
if you only work 3 days, then you're just, like, sitting at home on the couch for the other 4. Just whatever.
What would you do if I was actually at home just, like, playing video games or something?
I don't even know.
Like, if I had, like, a little
Oh,
gaming studio in the basement?
right. I
Ugh.
don't know. We owned a house at a very young age,
Mhm.
and a lot of things come with owning a house. It's like a part-time job,
Yeah.
and so just maintaining the house takes a lot, especially when you're gonna rent it out. So we
Mhm.
were doing all of these you were doing all of these house projects.
We did a
Yeah.
lot, you know, the whole kitchen remodel.
You did the laundry, you completely hooked up
Yeah,
laundry,
I pulled the lines for that.
did the entire salon, like, took all the stuff
True.
out,
Yep.
made it a bedroom,
Yeah.
all the
Tore the
Airbnb
carpet out,
stuff.
laid flooring down, new trim, painted
Yeah,
the trim, plumbed in the shampoo chair, hung all the stuff and,
yeah.
you know.
And I was up through the night already
Mhm,
anyways working, so we were both just, like, not sleeping.
mhm.
Um,
I mean, it'd take me, like, 2 hours just to cool down
I know, because we
because
didn't have AC or anything
didn't
in
have
here.
AC, so I'm just, like, sitting
It was
trying not
hot.
to sweat, like, focusing on not sweating after I
Yeah,
get out of the shower.
yeah.
It was we didn't have the electricity hooked up all the way, running on 15 amp power, so the water heater wasn't working great, and so I was taking cold showers. That was the only chance that I had to cool
Mhm.
down was taking cold showers.
I think my word or phrase for August would be burnout,
Mm,
because August hit me so hard because I was burnt out in January. I mean,
mhm.
that's why we started this whole thing, but it gets so much harder before it gets easier that
True.
we had added, like, 4 different things to our lives,
Mhm,
the camper and the Airbnb and all of the different social media channels and learning all of that and then getting my accounts taken and given
yep,
back and, like, starting over, and it was like and I was managing the Airbnbs. I replaced hair with the
mhm,
Airbnb because I was
mhm.
cleaning it every single day.
Yeah.
All the bedding, all the sheets, the deep cleaning. It would take me,
Yeah.
like, 4
Yeah.
hours
Because we were doing
every day.
short-term stays to start.
Mhm. Every day. So I thought by quitting hair, I would be like, "What am I gonna do? Like, I have all this time for content."
Right.
And I was working harder than I ever had, like, every day, every maybe, like, 2 days,
Mhm,
I would get a break, like, to get to clean the house. It would be, like, a 2-day stay. But that was all of August, all of September, half of October, like, that was a lot. Um, so I don't even feel like I've gotten to think about not being in the salon because it just was a whirlwind. But
mhm.
yeah, I think my word for August would be burnout, sleep deprived,
Yeah.
exhaustion.
Yeah,
What about
mine's
you?
just back to work. August was like, you have things that have to get done.
Mhm.
So for me, it just feels like it was back to work.
Gotcha. And then September was pretty much just exactly that again, I feel like.
Yeah, almost. I had everything on the camper done, like, first
Yeah,
week of September, so we were
yeah,
comfortable there, but all the content obviously didn't change. We were still filming every
mhm,
day for all the platforms and
yeah,
trying to figure out how to go full time and, because 'cause we're both still working for our
yeah,
corporate jobs at that point, and so we were
yeah,
definitely leaning into the content game big time in September.
mhm. Yeah, I hadn't made any money yet from social media, but I definitely was gaining traction, so I
Mhm,
was very inspired. I wasn't doing hair anymore, but I was still just the Airbnbs were taking up all of my time, and I was still doing my insurance job. So on my lunch breaks, I would get like 30 minutes to an hour and I would like try to work. We were also on mandatory overtime for like so long
mhm,
that I was working late and then going to finish cleaning and then like just in little spurts and then having it try to be ready by 4 p.m. And yeah, it was a lot.
mhm.
So I think August was pretty much the same for me as September. Let me
Yeah,
see. I think the same word I'm gonna say is just, like,
copy and paste.
sleep deprived or
Yeah, I don't know, I really don't remember much about September.
it was a whirlwind. You were so sleep deprived.
Yeah, I guess I'll just say ditto, because it was
Yeah,
probably the same as August.
yeah. We knew it was gonna get easier, but we didn't really know how, so we were just in survival mode.
Mhm.
So extremely burnout. So that
Yep.
was September. October was a really fun month. October was the month that I quit my job, and so I mean, I'm telling you from the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the days were so slow because of my job. I knew what my dream was. I knew that the Lord had given me that outlet. He had restored my accounts. He had, it was still growing and it was just my passion. And then it took me to October 15th. Like those 2 weeks, I just remember each and every day felt like an entire month. I officially quit October 15th. I put in my 2 weeks. And if I thought the first 2 weeks was slow, I had no idea what was coming the second 2 weeks because those days were like 3 months each. I mean, I'm just like, you know, 2 weeks and now I have like 13 days left and
Mhm.
12 days left. As soon as I put in my 2 weeks, I remember I got into the creator rewards program like
Yeah.
shortly after I started making money actually from posting, but it
Yeah.
wasn't until like the day that I quit.
Mhm.
And and then I was getting my first few paid brand deals.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Wait a second." Like, I had listened to the Lord. It was so clear that I needed to quit, but I just didn't want to because I didn't know how the money was gonna work out,
Right.
all of that. And so I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna follow the Lord. I've done it this far. This year is all about just giving it to the Lord." October was the month I hit like 50K, like 45K or something on
Mhm.
Instagram, and it was actually becoming like a business that I needed. I was doing so many brand deals, like, I needed to quit. Like, those
Yeah.
2 weeks actually,
Mhm.
because they all started pouring in and I was like, "I don't have time." Like, these 2 weeks could not end any sooner. October for me was, like, when social media became real. Everything that I had worked for that entire year, starting in January, it actually, like, manifested. I was not working my insurance job. I had just gained 45 hours a week now
Yeah.
of, like, for me, for our family, for content, for whatever
Yep.
I wanted to do, and that was, like I mean, I remember the first day I woke up and wasn't on the clock, and I was like, "The world is mine. I can do
Mhm.
anything I want."
Mhm.
Not to mention that our house was rented out.
Yep.
We were doing long-term stays, so I wasn't going in there and, like, cleaning every day. The house was taken care of, and then also I wasn't doing hair, obviously, and so all I was doing was content. Like, for the first time in my life, I was in control of everything that I wanted to do, and it was like it all happened so quickly,
Yep.
and, like, we had time together. It was like I was trying to figure out what my life was,
Yeah.
but that wasn't until, like, November because I worked my last day was the 29th of October.
Mhm. Content creation, trying to figure out how I could make long form content working at Caterpillar.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you were working overtime still, and you were just we really wanted you to quit too, but we were
Mhm.
trying to figure that out. But you were just doing, like, lawn care, maintaining the house. We had some issues with the AC, you were working on that.
Mhm.
Just maintaining 2 homes, really. Now at this point, the
Mhm.
camper was still being worked on.
Yeah.
So every night you would come home and just work on the camper or work on the house, tenants and Airbnbs, emailing,
Mhm.
also filming every single day,
Yep.
and working your full-time job
Right.
with overtime. So my word for October would just be like, "It happened."
Yeah.
Finally.
Like it's real.
I think yeah, like, finally. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
Mhm.
Yes. Like, I actually quit everything that I had worked for that year, like, it was
Yep.
there. It's so cool.
That's awesome. I
What
think
about you?
mine would be grind. It wasn't as busy as September or
Mhm.
August, but it was still definitely pretty busy. So just kind of just grinding, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to November,
Mhm.
which at the time of filming was only 2 months ago.
I know.
November for me was not as busy as October,
Mhm.
but there was lots of things going on. Spending time with family, just the whole 9.
Yeah. November I think November was a really hard month for us
Mm,
because we had pretty much gotten we were this close to, like, just living life the life that we had prayed and dreamed and worked for the entire year
yeah.
and just strived for it. But you still being gone, you know, because originally, I mean, when I quit my job, I'm like, "Let's hit the road, let's travel." But we couldn't because he was still working, and I
Mhm.
was like, "Okay, so I guess I'm gonna." It was like my first day was like November 1st of like not working. It was like a Monday, whatever it was. And so I was like, opportunity, like the world is ours. But then it always came back to like, oh, well, he still has to work. And so we were like wanting to travel. That was kind of just what we always fell back to. And we had made it happen in every other category. But 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks in November were so hard because I thought I was free and it was like, I get to do all these things. But then I really wasn't because I couldn't really travel. We couldn't go too far
Mhm.
because we had to be at work Friday morning till Sunday night, and
Yep.
we also I just think that there was a really strong spiritual push that we were really feeling in November.
Mhm.
So we didn't really hang out with friends or family, we were praying a lot
We were.
because we were both feeling like, "Okay, I think that you're gonna need to quit." So then, yeah, November was just feeling that push that
Mhm.
you need to leave,
Yeah.
but that was, like, in our eyes, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, there's just how is that gonna work, you
Yeah.
know? There's just no way.
And there was, like, multiple times in November where, like, "Today's the day, you're quitting
Mhm.
today." And then you
Yeah.
would text me and be like, "Yeah, I'm not quitting." I'd be like, "Yeah, you can't." So
There were days in October, you know,
right.
the short that we posted of us dancing around in the
That
camper.
was September
Was that September?
28th.
That was literally
I know.
that was the day. I'm like, "It's real. It's gonna
Mhm.
happen. I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna go in tomorrow and I'm
Yeah,
gonna quit."
I know.
And then I didn't.
Yeah, we still had not told, like, anyone that we wanted to travel or that, like, you were even thinking about quitting, like,
Right.
none of that was we just didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
It was just our own little thing, like, if you actually quit, we're hitting the road. We just knew it would happen. But, so November was for me, it was kinda like a tease. It was like freedom is here, and it really did feel like it. I mean, my life has completely changed
Mhm.
from October to November, but it just wasn't it. Like, we weren't done making huge decisions yet, it's just
Yeah.
what it felt like.
Yep.
So my word would be, like, "We're so close," my phrase.
Mhm. Yeah, so for me, November was just like lean in
Yeah,
because we were just feeling that push, like you said,
yeah.
to pray a lot and
We yeah,
trying to spend as much time as we could with family, but also, like, we had decisions to make,
yeah.
and so we were just leaning in.
We had never felt more pressure, I think.
Mhm.
That's a good word too, maybe is, like,
Pressure.
pressure
Yeah.
because it wasn't we couldn't relax anymore, just like at a family dinner or something. We were like so
Just
stressed.
itching.
Yeah, we were just itching. We were like so stressed out. We needed every hour to be at home. Like I was so overwhelmed too with like figuring out this new job, like filming and brand deals and deadlines and contracts and figuring out, people would ask me like, "Are you free now?" or "When are you free?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing." My income was relying on it, so it was like,
Mhm.
I have to be good at this and figure it out. I was researching things and everything just took so much longer than I ever
Mhm.
thought. I thought content creation was just like putting up the camera and calling it a day. Um, so I was just like, this is a lot. But then also feeling that urge, that push that like you have to quit. Yeah, my word would either just be like pressure or we're so close.
Mhm.
And then we're in December.
Now December, last month. December was crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously, lots of festivities to go to. We started the podcast in November. We didn't even touch on
We
that.
we completely rolled over. We announced it October 26th. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first episode of the podcast went live either the last
Yeah.
week of October or November, so
But
that got added.
yeah, the thing was when I quit, like, I put in my 2 weeks, I was like, "It's go time." So, I think
Mhm.
it was, like, October 16th that we were,
Yeah,
like had a photo shoot for the podcast, we were thinking about our videos, and yeah, we
yeah,
bought the
body
equipment. So,
equipment.
I was, like, all in with content, the
Mhm.
podcast, the couples channel, both of ours. So, yeah, that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, but then in December, so, like, that's part of our workload now. Having just quit my job pretty recently,
Yeah, you
I
quit.
had quite a bit of extra time. We had time together, but also, like, it's Christmas time, it's
Mhm.
the holidays, we can't just up and leave yet.
Mhm.
So, we're
That's
sticking
right.
around.
We were just kind of nervous too because we were like, he had just quit his job. It was the holidays. We were like in shock for a solid 2, 3 weeks. We're like,
Mhm.
what do we do? And also, I think that I thought like, "Oh, well, I just don't work anymore and I'm just free," but, like, I had deadlines on Christmas Day,
Yeah,
and yes, I can work ahead, so I was trying to work ahead so that I could have the week off, but that didn't end up happening because I don't know how to do things, like, I'm figuring it out. So, I felt in my mind like, "Oh, I don't work anymore," and everyone's like, "Oh, so, like, you don't do anything now," but I was busier than I ever was before. So I was like, "How did that happen?" But it was everything that I loved. This was my biggest passion.
yeah,
But we were doing the podcast, we were trying to film extra. The podcast is like a full-time job completely.
yeah,
We also had the couples channel and we were trying to post again like daily, which just didn't happen, but also like create content like full YouTube vlogs. I had my full-time the whole my Instagram and TikTok is like a full-time thing for me, which
mhm,
was where I was getting the brand deals and the emailing and the meetings and contract like just a whole other world that took up most of my time. And then your whole thing, which is what you were doing. And I think a lot of people just don't realize how much goes into it, which I feel like needs to be a whole podcast.
probably so.
But
Yeah,
we were thrown into it,
mhm,
December, and then of course Christmas and just festivities and but I was just so like I have this and this and this and it was like we weren't in a normal routine because obviously every night we were doing things. Yeah, we weren't in a normal routine. We still are learning what that is. We just got out of like all the holidays. So it was a crazy time to have like a huge career shift. And that's another thing. We had a career shift. I think that
yeah,
in my mind I was thinking like I don't have to work now or like I just don't work. I quit. But it was like we switched jobs.
mhm,
So I think that I was telling people like, "Yeah, I don't do anything now," and then it's like, "Oh, wait, I still have all of these things that I have to do." I mean, I'm
right,
contracted into it.
mhm,
So, I don't even know what happened. It was a whirlwind.
yeah, it was.
I think my word would be confused for December because I didn't know what in the world was happening. I would just straight up forget events we were supposed to be at. I didn't have any kind of structure.
Mhm,
The routines were gone.
yeah,
I felt freedom, but I also felt like, what are we doing? And
yeah.
I think just confused, figuring things out, but still fun.
Yeah, it was fun, but yeah,
Stress.
stress.
It was stressful.
It was stressful.
It was this
It's
most
unfortunate,
stressful I
because
know.
it was the holidays, and I don't think it was because of the holidays, but we were just
Right.
thrown to the wolves,
Yeah.
and there was some stress that came with that. I always follow what the Lord says. I've
Yeah.
never heard his voice so clear in my life. So I don't doubt it at all.
No.
I wonder what he's got for us.
Yeah. And it just happened so quick, and then we weren't doing anything else. We had made so many life-changing decisions
Mhm.
that once you made that decision, like, you quit your
Yeah.
full-time job, we just took a step back, and we just had to, like, process. Maybe that's a good word instead of, like, stressed out. Like,
Process.
we
Yeah.
just were processing. People were asking us, like, "What are you doing, and what's this, and what's your
Right.
plans?" And we truthfully didn't know. We had just followed the Lord, and it was kind of just like a dead season, like, we were just like, "Okay, like, we know that you were supposed to quit and me and content creation," but we also knew that we didn't wanna just, like, hit the road, it was the holiday season, so we were kinda like, "Okay, we're gonna just stay here for the next month, get
Mhm.
through December," or whatever it was. So we were just here knowing that we were gonna be leaving soon, traveling. We hadn't announced any of that yet, but we were just in limbo, you know?
Limbo. That's the
Yeah.
word for December is
Is
limbo.
yeah. December was a blur for
Blur is
me.
another good one. Stress, blur, limbo. You're on a roll, baby. Just keep
Yeah.
going.
It was, like, probably the weirdest Christmas we've had, like
Definitely a weird Christmas.
yeah. Next Christmas is definitely gonna be better, hopefully, like, we're gonna have
Mhm.
some direction, you know?
Yeah.
But that is a summary of our year
Do you have a phrase for the year?
for 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
we should
thinking of
give
something specific
okay,
that we said a lot.
that we said a
Mhm.
lot.
We said it a lot.
Let's do it.
Mhm.
Okay.
When I say it, you'll be like, "Oh, yeah."
I feel like we said, like, "Let's just do it."
There was that was, like, the attitude that we had towards it,
Mhm.
but this is a phrase that we said.
Well, I don't know what I would say, but I don't know what I would guess that you're thinking of.
We both said it
What is
a
it?
lot. You don't wanna try and guess?
I did, like, I don't know.
This is the hardest it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wait, we always said
often.
that
We said that so
every
often.
2 weeks.
Every
It's
2
like,
weeks, and it was true every time, like, we were just
"Oh."
getting through the thick of it, and this is the hardest it's gonna be. This is the hardest it's gonna be, and then we'd get a little bit harder. This is the hardest it's gonna be, you
Yeah.
know? And then even when we were on the tail end of it, looking forward, this is the hardest that it'll
Yeah.
be. Looking forward, now this is the hardest it'll ever be. We've gone through the
Since
hardest stuff before,
mhm.
and it's still hard now, but it's gonna get easier. This is the hardest that it'll
Yeah.
ever be.
Like, since March, we were like, "It can't get harder than this."
Right.
Like, this is it.
That literally got us through this entire year. I don't know where we'd be
Yeah.
without those 4 words
And
or
now it's like,
whatever.
"Man, we had it so easy back then." Like, yeah, we said that every 2 weeks.
8 words, not 4 words, but
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I could put a phrase to the year, like, we definitely said that a lot. But looking back from January to December, I would probably say a phrase like, if I were gonna explain that year to someone else to summarize it, I would just say, like, building a whole new life. We
That's good.
built a new life.
Yeah. We started our empire.
We started over.
Mhm. We did.
Maybe starting over is a good one.
Starting over.
What would you say?
I think I would say this is the hardest it'll be.
Yeah.
That's the phrase of the year
Yeah.
for me.
It was the hardest year of our lives, I think.
I think so too. I think
It
we
just
grew
pushed
more
us,
this year than ever before though.
for sure. What would you say we'll probably do this, December of 2026. So let's try to
January.
guess what phrase we're gonna say. You know
Ooh.
what I mean? Like, we'll say it now,
What are we gonna, like, pick the phrase for the
what
year?
we think 2026 is gonna be, and then we'll see what we end up actually saying in December.
I can see 26 being a lot of work.
Really?
Yeah. I think that we're gonna realize that it's gonna take another year like that to where we can
Yikes.
actually attain freedom.
Okay, that's not where I was going. That scares me.
Not maybe the same level, but it's not
Mhm.
like we're just done, you know?
Yeah.
Like we get a taste of it
Yeah.
now. But if we want to actually get our foot in the door instead of just banging on the door,
Right.
instead of just looking through the keyhole, I think there's gonna be some work involved.
So many analogies. I think that I would say freedom. I see, like, 2026 being the year of, like, we actually get to start reaping some benefits,
Yeah.
like, Lord willing,
Yeah.
from all of the work, and I think in December or, next January when we make this episode, I think I'm gonna, Lord willing, be able to say, like, just freedom. We experienced freedom in every area.
Mhm. I can definitely see that being the case too. I just think
Yeah.
it's not gonna be free freedom.
Mhm.
I think like I said, I think we're at the door and
Yeah.
we're looking through the keyhole and we see freedom, but
Mhm.
we just gotta do a little bit more work and we're there.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. I
Yep.
loved this episode. Thanks for this idea.
Yeah,
Super spur of the moment, but we were able to just talk it all the way through.
for sure.
It's great.
It was a really cool recap. I like doing this. I
Mhm.
think this should be, like, a tradition we do each year.
Absolutely. I'm gonna put it in my notes as soon as we get off
Yeah.
cam.
20 or, like, yearly recap.
Yeah.
Well, I think that sums it up. That was a super fun episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I would encourage you to maybe like do the same thing with your family or your spouse, whatever, because it really brings like a lot of reflection
Yeah.
and like how you want to change maybe for the new year.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah, it was great. I'm going to write all of that down as soon
Yeah,
as we get off mics here so that we can do it again next year and compare notes.
that'd be
But yeah,
so
with
cool.
that, I think we're all done, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today on this episode of the Counterculture Podcast. If you like our content, we post new episodes every Monday at 6 a.m. on YouTube and Spotify. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well. We post shorts and different clips from the podcast there. And with that, I'm signing out, guys. Thanks so much for watching and have a blessed night.
Bye, guys.